Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Just Make the Thing. I'm your host, Sean, and welcome, I guess, to can Unity AI actually make a video game? Because I don't know about you, but if you know anything about Unity lately, they've been showing off this new Unity AI feature. I'm gonna show real quick in the. I'm gonna real quick show what it's capable of, and then we'll go from there. I just kind of want to show off. Let's see. So, Unity AI, and let's take a look. Yeah, I realized that the sound's not working here, so hold on a second. Let's switch over the sound way you guys can hear. So check this out. So real quick, I just want to say, like, if this is really what Unity is saying that this thing can do, let's take it back a second here and just like, okay, first of all, let's build a game. Literally just type that in the prompt, and then, I mean, obviously I know it's an ad. It's a 1 minute ad. But like, I'm really curious to see how good this thing is, right? So I actually set this up. I already have it. I have it sort of set up. I'm going to set it up the rest of the way here on the stream. But it is really an interesting thing because if you watch, I mean, this is a really, really good demo. Build a demolition derby using my assets, right? I mean, that is pretty impressive. Seriously. And I'm curious to see if it can actually do it, Like, that's pretty impressive. I mean, so yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, if you want to watch the whole thing, just go out to YouTube. I mean, you saw what I did. I literally typed in Unity AI. It's the very first one here on the 17 million views, Unity AI open beta launch trailer 1 month ago. I mean, and Code Monkey here, which shout out to Code Monkey, great channel, amazing for learning game dev concepts. He made a video on this, and I haven't watched it the whole way through yet. But I do think Unity AI has I think it has a lot of potential. So let's find out. Let's find out together tonight just how much potential Unity AI really does have. So let's take a look here. I'm gonna pull this up here. I'm gonna switch over to scene view. Brand new scene. Never did anything in this. This is brand new right out of the box. I have not done anything with this. You see here, AI, agree and install Unity AI. Installing AI packages. So if I go to package manager, should see something start to come in here. It'll probably take a few minutes here. Let's go to console, see if it's actually going to tell us anything. Yeah, installing AI packages. All right, let's get some music going back here again. Sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, I'm genuinely curious. This is a blank Unity screen. Never been touched. Haven't done anything with it. Now, I have played around with the MCP. With Unity, not with Unity, the Unity MCP, right? But also with Claude Code, and I'll show that off here in a second what I'm talking about. But it's kind of interesting to me. This could be really big. I'm liking this because if you are a solo developer, right, in 2026, and let's say you want to be making a game that's as big as The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, there's no way that you as one person can do that by yourself. Like, I mean, if you really had, like, I was talking about this the other night on the stream. If you were Eric Barone and you had 10 hours per day, 7 days per week, right? You lived at home with your parents and you were doing this game dev thing full time as your only thing that you're doing, 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, then maybe you could do it. But legitimately, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you could really truly do it, because look at Stardew Valley. Even as amazing as that game is a wonderful game. I love it. But does it have the breadth and depth as The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? It's really fun, and I love the game, but I don't think it could. I mean, if you stack those two side by side, I don't think it has the same level of polish and detail and everything that you have. I mean, it's not a 3D, first of all. It's not a huge, expansive open world. Yes, there are a lot of systems in place. Yes, it is very heavily detailed, but it's not on the same scope as a game like The Legend of Zelda, right? And my dream, personally, is to be able to make a game like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, right? But I'm fully aware that I would need a team in order to do something like that, right? Unless AI can do a lot of that work, and then maybe this is the game changer. I mean, who knows? I mean, I think Tim Sweeney said, Tim Sweeney, for those of you who don't know who Tim Sweeney is, let me see, because I don't want to misquote him, but I think he said, did Tim Sweeney say the next Breath of the Wild would be built by a solo developer? Yeah, so it wasn't exactly one for one with what I thought. I thought he said it was one person, but just 10 people would create a game similar to Breath of the Wild using AI tools. I mean, that is really, really impressive to think about. If you could have 10 people, 10 people who are willing to sit down and like learn at least, the most essential skills, like one guy who's doing Blender and making the game assets, one person maybe doing the animations, one person doing the game levels, the level design, one person doing all the coding and scripting and making sure all that's working. I mean, granted, that's overlapped with systems and everything, but if you literally think about that, if we really could make a game like Breath of the Wild with 10 people, and then if 10 people, what does it look like with one person? What kind of scope can you actually imagine? I mean, that's just insane to think about. And so, yeah, I'm gonna put Unity's stuff to the test here, because I really want to see. Their ad is pretty compelling. Seeing them take a car and put it in a gladiator arena with some assets that they probably got off of the asset store or something, and then boom, you got a fully playable game made by one person chilling out in their spare time after work, making an amazing game. And I'm sorry, people love to hate on AI. They love to hate on AI. People will be like, AI is terrible for the environment, or they'll be like, AI is this, it's horrible for human beings. Let me caveat this first before I get ahead of myself. I do believe 100% that there is no such thing as AI art, right? There is imitation. Like art can be imitated, right? And I would say that there's no such thing as truly original AI art. Like, there's just not. And I think that if you want real art, you must put in the work and make the real art. You can make things look nice. AI is very good at making things look nice. But I will say this. I think that AI as a whole is good for us as game developers. It's good for us as designers, as engineers. It's really good for all those things. And you're free to disagree with me on that. I don't care. You're entitled to your opinion. But I will say I am a fan of AI, and I like what it can do. And I really think that the less that you embrace it, the further you will fall behind. So rant over. Enough of all that. I just think that you know, if you don't embrace it and learn how to do it, it's not going to benefit you in the long run. Now, another thing to consider though is that you don't necessarily want to be 100% reliant on it either. You don't want to let it just take over everything for you. I've talked about that on the stream here before as well. And I've said about how you really don't want to get so caught up in how it works and just let it do everything for you. Because if you do, then you're setting yourself up for failure. And then everything will just fall apart for you in the end, because then you won't know how to do anything. So I know I don't need these README assets, so let's get rid of those first. Goodbye, README assets. All right, now, oh, gotta reload the domain. Sorry about that. I'll take a little bit of my drink here. Sorry about that. Let's test it out. All right, so open assistant. Let's go ahead and bring this assistant up here to where the inspector's at. We'll just have them sit nicely side by side. All right, and then let's take a look here. First of all, everything feels a little sluggish right now for me, so I want to make sure that things aren't going to grind to a halt on me here. And if I'm having issues on the stream, please let me know in the chat. I am watching the chat live, keeping up with what's going on. So if anything's looking off or anything, let me know. But anyway, let's take a look here. So it's not responding to me at all right now, which is not good. Now, I've said this before as well. Oh, it's reloading the domain. But I've said this before as well. Windows, actually, maybe I haven't said it. I don't know. I could be wrong. Windows sucks. Let me just say that. Windows sucks because I don't know what it is about Windows, but I have a very, very good machine. Like, my machine runs a 3070, and I don't really think that there should be any issues with running things like Unity. All right, so we got agent, we got plan, we got ask. We got Unity default. Let's just stick with Unity default. Let's see what we get here. We got plus. I'm guessing this is where you can upload files and stuff. Search sources inside of Unity and attach them to your prompt. Project, hierarchy, console. Now, part of the thing about Unity AI is it's marketed as, like, you know, it can understand, it actually understands, you know, whatever it is you ask it to build. So let's say, let's go back into that YouTube video. I'm curious what they did there. So Unity AI. Yeah, so say let's build a game, and then it's build a demolition derby arena using my assets. Okay. Build an open world RPG. And yeah, I mean, like, let's go out to the asset store and see, like, let's take a look. Summer sale. Maybe we can get some cool assets for, you know, pretty cheap. We can say, I don't know, like, let's take a look at, this is sorted by popularity. Infinite Runner Engine 3D, Medieval Ultimate Bundle, Quest Machine. I guess first of all, let's say 3D environments, Medieval Ultimate Bundle, Dreamscape Nature, Stylized meadow. Let's take a look at this and see. I mean, that's pretty cool. That looks very pretty. Amazing. Cool. Well, I've already learned my lesson on this one time. I'm not about to go spending a bunch of money right now because I bought something for $50 one time and it ended up not working out. So I know better than to just go ahead and hit buy. I have to do my research before I hit buy because I don't have an infinite amount of money to go ahead and just spend on things. But let's do this. Let's go ahead and let's say free Unity assets. All right. Let's see. Let's be a little bit more specific. Free Unity environment assets. Low poly tree pack, low poly survival asset pack, stylized tree pack, hand painted forest. Okay. Take a look at this. Take a look at Turbo Squid and see if they have anything good. Stylized ruins. That might be good. I mean, that's not bad. 3D garden scene, military, forest stylized fantasy environment. $10. Oh, let's check out Polyhaven. Maybe they have stuff. Oh yeah, I mean they got a lot of good stuff on here, but let's see. Explore gallery. Let's see. I don't know. Forest. Tree. Yeah, look at that. They got some trees on here. Palm tree. Another palm tree. I feel like this isn't going to really work, though. All right. Let's do this. Let's just wing it and see what we get. Build an open world RPG inspired by The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Let's see what it does. Only one way to find out. You can't see this over my head here, but let me move my head and then you can see what I'm doing here. So it says preparing. All right, so it says exploring initial scope. My current focus is on dissecting the vastness of the request. I'm identifying the core components of an open world RPG, drawing a specific inspiration from Breath of the Wild's mechanics and design philosophy. Early stage involve initial exploration to define preliminary project boundaries and key features. Investigating project structure. My recent thoughts are centered on understanding the existing project architecture. I'm considering how to leverage tools like agent.spawn subagent with an explorer, or perhaps a custom Unity grep function to thoroughly examine the current code base and project assets before any implementation begins. Discovering project assets. My recent thoughts are focused on systematically understanding the project's contents. I've decided to spawn an explorer subagent to catalog all existing assets and scripts. This provides a comprehensive overview before any specific development actions are taken. Okay. Well, there's no assets, so don't have to worry about that. Don't really have anything. I mean, this is a blank slate, so read from name. Yes. Let's just say allow. Assistant wants to execute code. Sure, go ahead. Okay, list installed packages. No packages to install. I mean, it's all blank. It wants to execute code. Let's say, for the conversation, you're allowed. I will say this. I mean, I'm pretty thoroughly impressed with the fact that it kind of understand. I mean, obviously they built it to understand how to work in Unity, so it's like it better darn well be really good at handling things in Unity. Whereas like Claude is more general and can be used for, you know, anything you want to throw at it. This is specifically designed to be really, really efficient at Unity. And so I'm very impressed with just how good it is at, it's already figuring out, like it wants to determine systems. Like, let's take a look here. So you got to build the input actions. You got to detect climbable surfaces, refining climbing movement, refining climbing actions, designing gliding logic, implementing camera obstacle detection, refining paraglider mechanics, generating stamina wheel. Like, that is extremely, extremely impressive. So, I mean, I got to say, like, just right out the gate, like, my prompt was very simple. I just said, I didn't go hardcore, do anything special. All I did was I said, build an open world RPG inspired by The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I mean, very impressive. I was not specific at all. And I tend to be very specific when I prompt AI. Like when I prompt Claude, I'm super, super specific about what I ask it to do. Because if I'm not super specific, it just wrecks everything. If I say, you know, build out a grid of tiles in a 2D game, Claude will literally just build out whatever it thinks it wants, whatever it thinks I want, which could be anything. It could be like a grid of like 25 by 25, but in my head I would be like, you know, 50 by 50 or 32 by 10. And obviously, you know, it's not a mind reader. It doesn't know what I want, but it have to be super specific. That was a poor example. But if I say, well, here's one I just had. So I'm building a 2D game outside of this with Claude right now because I'm trying to see how good it is. And I'll mention that later on this channel. I'm trying to work on that. It's got a little bit more polish than my usual like live stream stuff, so that'll come. Anyway, the player character, I wanted it to be slightly larger than the grid, and it took me like 20 prompts to get it right. It took me so long to actually get it to understand what I meant by larger than one cell size, right? Because it would take the size of the cell and then the camera, like the character, the sprite would literally be teeny tiny. And I was like, no, it needs to be bigger than that. It's okay if it goes outside of the bounds of the cell. And it just did not want to understand. It took me so much time to get it to understand And so I kept doing it over and over and over. And I'm sure, you know, I'm sure I'll probably have to face that same sort of thing with Unity AI here, but I don't think it's going to be as bad because like already it's already building systems, and I'm just so impressed with how good it's doing. And it's just going to town. It's just like, hey, I'm just going to start building everything. Like, oh, you wanted a character to have you know, walking and climbing. It's just like, there you go. I'm gonna do all of it. And also, just to mention, this is a trial too. Like I didn't pay for any of this. Like this is completely free. You can download it. The only catch is it took a couple days for Unity, and I don't know if it's just because of demand or what, but it took a couple of days for Unity to actually give me my tokens, because I had no tokens, and this, or credits, they call it credits, right? It took a while, and it was just like anytime I would look at it, it would say 0, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I don't have any credits. And then finally, like all of a sudden, I think it was yesterday, I actually started seeing that I had the credits, and I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. So that's kind of why I wanted to play around with it, because I really want to see if it's actually capable of building a bigger game like this, because if it is, man, that is going to be a huge game changer for solo developers and small teams. Like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, look at this. I mean, granted, I have no assets packed in here at all right now. This is all just like placeholder, and it's already doing way better than Claude has done. I am thoroughly impressed. We got a player character, very basic. We got grass. We got some actual like objects that are supposed to be, you know, like, I don't know, terrain or that is pretty cool. Could be anything, really. It's all up to your imagination. That is really cool. Yeah. So I actually thought this was an interesting thing too. I was watching this YouTube video earlier today, and this guy was talking about, this is a dilemma I have, right? So there's this whole dilemma of the fig tree, and I guess it's this famous poem, but I'm in my 30s and I never heard of it until today, actually. And this whole dilemma is that you are sitting underneath a fig tree and you look up and you see all these different figs, and these figs are things you can do with your life, right? So like people who are polymaths or Renaissance men, as they traditionally are called, they tend to be interested in many different things. And some people are like really interested in art and engineering, and some are interested in like cooking, or doing karate, or doing like, you know, there's just so many things, playing guitar, playing piano, all these different things. And it's like, oh, I could imagine my life like this person sitting underneath the fig tree, and they're saying, oh, I could imagine my life as a famous pianist. And then the other fig, they look up and they say, oh, I could imagine my life as a famous artist, like painter, sculptor, right? And I am subject to this dilemma all the time. Like my poor wife, I love her to death, and she gets the brunt of it. So I'm really sorry. And I'm sure she's probably listening right now. So this fig tree dilemma is a really interesting problem for people, because you feel like you see all these potential endings of like what could be, and then while you sit there doing nothing, not taking any action, most of us modern day call it fence sitting, right? Being a fence sitter, then all the figs fall down off the tree anyway, and then they just all like rot, because then you haven't made any decisions, so you don't get to take advantage of any of these figs. But the good news is, and this YouTuber, I can't remember, let me see if I can figure out what his name was, because he's a really good YouTuber, by the way. So I gotta give him a shout out, so that way, you know. credit where credit's due. This whole thing is he says about how the fig tree, you are actually the fig tree, and like life comes and goes, and every year, you know, the figs regrow and they all sprout new ideas. And so it's like you have like so many chances to get it right in life. And I mean, like, if you spend your whole life literally sitting on the fence and doing nothing, then I think that that's a problem. You got to make a decision at some point, right? Like, you're not going to be young forever, so you got to say, like, I'm going to make, like, for me, my whole branch in the fig tree right now is like, do I make video games full time, or do I make art full time as a Blender artist, 3D artist, right? Because I love both, right? And I think that there's plenty of people out there who are probably pretty similar to me, because if you want to be the best darn Blender artist that you can be, you got to go all in on Blender, because Blender is a beast in and of itself. If you want to be the best video game designer that you can be, well, then you can't be the best Blender artist unless you're doing, like, you have all this free time. If you're somebody like me who has a family to take care of, you're not going to be able to be both. You can't be both a master Blender artist, and you can't be a really amazing video game creator. So you can be a really good video game creator and a so-so Blender artist. It just depends on what you want. So the path that I've pretty much chosen at this point, and I think it's pretty clear to everybody who's watched any of my content on this channel, is that I'm going to be a so-so Blender artist and a really good video game maker. That's the path I've chosen. So that's the fig that I've taken off the tree. That's the fig I'm eating at this point in my life. And so, you know, just as this YouTuber had mentioned, said about how, you know, every year is a new cycle, right? You always have a chance to try again, even if you get it wrong the first time, right? So, yeah, let me find this guy, because I want to give him a good shout out here. It was a good video. I definitely want to give credit. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, so the guy's name is Jonah Green, and the video is called "The Fear of Choosing the Wrong Path in Life: Overcoming Indecision." And it's like, I think so many people struggle with this. The only thing I would say is that he talks about like tarot cards, and so I'm not. I'm Catholic, you know. I don't really I don't agree with like that sort of thing. But I would say that, you know, overall his message is really good, and he had a lot of good things to say. So, okay, so let's see where we're at here. So, open world test environment, a beautiful color coded blockout level. I want to kind of read through this and see architecture and systems implementation. Build a complete high-quality gameplay prototype for the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild inspired open-world RPG. Everything has been created from scratch using highly robust modern Unity workflows, URP, standard character controller physics, Canvas UI, and the modern Unity input system. The project compiled flawlessly with 0 errors and 0 warnings. All scene elements have been visually validated. You can move WASD or the left joystick. Look, sprint, jump, climb. You can climb, you can do paragliding, core locomotion, and state machine. That's cool. State machine designed around 5 clear mutually exclusive states: grounded, in-air, climbing, paragliding, and ledge vault. Physics rig uses a standard Unity character controller to process high fidelity movements, handling slope limits, slide response, and stair stepping natively. Wow. Camera relative mapping. Movement directions are projected onto the camera's forward and right vectors along the horizontal plane. Smart ledge detection. Periodically performs dual forward facing raycasts. Hip and chest level. Robust management. So we've got stamina system. Collision aware orbit camera, third person. That's cool. Procedural canvas, stamina wheel. Open world test environment. Beautiful color coded blockout level has been constructed. And okay, cool. Let's take a look. Let's see. I'm really curious, honestly. I want to see how good this actually gets. Do a little play test. I mean, this could truly be a big game changer for people. Like, seriously. Look at that. Climbing. We got the We got the glide mechanic just like in Breath of the Wild. I can move my mouse and I can actually look around. Like, that's pretty cool. I can hold shift and I can actually run. That is fantastic. That doesn't behave correctly. Like when I go left, it goes right. When I go right, it goes left. And I can still keep climbing even though I'm out of stamina. I shouldn't be able to do that. But hey, you know what? For beginners, like that's pretty great. I gotta say, like, this is all done using Unity AI. So like, huge kudos to Unity for making an amazing AI. I am extremely impressed, and I do really believe that the future of game development is going to be heavily changed from this. Looks like the meme, like, just deal with it. Just deal with it. Like, just deal with it. Right? That's pretty cool. I like that. Okay, so now that we've seen that, let's see how much deeper we can go here. All right, so we have the basic game. 4%. I wonder what that means. Conversation context used. When full, the conversation history will be summarized to free up space. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's do this. What would be the next thing here? I'm playing Breath of the Wild. I want my character to be able to let's say okay, next thing I want you to make, next system I want you to work on is combat. Let's give him a sword and an enemy to fight. Let's check it out. Let's see. I'm gonna try plan this time and see if it actually gets it. We'll stick with maximum power for demanding tasks. Balance performance for most work. I will just keep it Unity default. Maybe when we get to a little bit more of a complex task, maybe I'll ask it to make like terrain. Maybe that'll be something good for it to do. Creating combat plan, designing combat logic, implementing attack mechanics. Cool. I mean, legitimately, like, people can hate on AI all they want, but like, the people who are not using AI versus the people who are, it is going to be like, it's going to be like if you took a little dinghy boat and you tried to take on a man of war, right? So if you don't know what that is and you're not familiar with like naval warfare, let's take a look here so that everybody can understand what I mean by this. Dinghy boat. Okay, so you got a little dinghy here, right? This is a good little small boat here, right? Okay, cool. You got us. This is the guy who's not using AI in 2026 to build video games. This is that guy. He's sitting here. He's like, man, I'm going to war, boys. I'm gonna go out. I got this. I'm gonna go fight the good fight. And then you got this guy over here, and this is the man of war. Oh man, like, here's your little dinghy right here. Here's your man of war. Like, it's in. I think that the people who are using AI to help them out, not 100%. I don't want to say you do it 100%. Don't let AI do everything for you. But man, if you are not using AI, this is the guy using AI. This is the guy not using AI right here. Like, damn. It's crazy. Like, Unity did a great job with Unity AI, I have to say. I'm very impressed so far. Like, they aren't playing around. They're like, hey, Claude, hold my beer. I'm about to go ahead and show you what's up here. I'm going to make an amazing tool that can make it 10 million times easier for game developers. Wow. All right, enough of me talking for a little bit here. Why don't you all enjoy some music? I'm gonna put some music on here, and I'll quiet down for a little bit. And you get those fun sound effects, you know, like I guess I could do this for right now. I don't have it. Like, this is one here. You ready? I'll put it on here. Hopefully this isn't too loud. I better turn this down a little bit.
Dad, I wish you could just shut your big yapper.
Yeah, so it's like that's like me, right? Dad, I wish you could just shut your big yapper. Like, I just go on and on. I just keep on ranting and keeping on going on, you know? See, we got another person who joined the stream. Thanks for joining live. Really appreciate it. For those who are just joining, just wanted to let you know what I'm working on here. For one thing, I am working on Unity AI, just testing things out in it, seeing how it's going. I literally started this whole thing off by just asking it to build out an open world RPG inspired by The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. And it literally got a prototype working, and it's pretty impressive. Just kind of bringing you up to speed so that way you can kind of see what you missed. This is crazy to me. Like, this is all done by AI. I did none of this code. This is where we're at in 2026 with what AI is capable of. Moving the camera around with my mouse in my right hand, WASD controls, shift to run. It understands all of that. Like, the Unity AI that Unity built out, I mean, that's really, really impressive. It's not perfect, but like, for a prototype, like, that's crazy. Oh yeah, and it can do the glide too. It even thought to do the glide, right? Just like, you know, Link has his paraglider. Oh, he ran out of stamina. Like, wow. Like, that is insane. Right now I have it building out a combat system, so that's what I'm working on right now, and we'll see how it goes. But just blown away, right? So there we go. So it's ready to actually build out the plan here. It has the plan built out, combat system, gameplay loop, explore and scale, enemies, engage enemies, execute combos and special attacks, survive and recover, right? So yeah, pretty crazy. Run plan. Let's check it out. Plan approved. Okay, music's going back on, and I'm gonna quiet down for a couple minutes. Just let the AI do its work. If you all have any questions, I have the chat open, and I'm happy to take your questions live here, or talk, you know, whatever. I don't care. You can say whatever. I'm happy to just talk about whatever. If you want to talk about, you know, the weather. If you want to talk about the weather, just tell me, you know, what's the weather like in Texas right now? What's the weather like in, I don't know. Talk about anything. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. It's what I'm here for. I'm here for you, dear viewer. I'm here for you. Yeah, and you know, like just like with any other AI, it takes a while especially when it has a plan in place. Like I found this to be true with Claude. Got a reason it's got to take its time. 497 seconds. Got to work through everything that it's got to work through. Hey, that's pretty cool. It actually started building it. Turn down the music here a little bit here. And that way y'all can hear me properly. Cool. We got something going on here. That's cool. Yeah, I really do wish that I could have, like, you know, music on this stream that isn't like just general use. I'm grateful for the public domain music that exists out there. It makes it a lot easier to do, like things like live streaming. But I really do wish I could play some like my favorite songs on this channel and just like kind of put them on and jam out to them. And as I'm building games, like, you know, do like just jamming out, making video games, letting y'all like chill out to some of my favorite songs. I'm a big Linkin Park fan. I really like Linkin Park. Really sucks what happened to Chester. But I love all that kind of music. I love Breaking Benjamin. I grew up, you know, 2000s rock, you know, like 2000s alternative, 2010, 1990s, like all that stuff. Like that's what I grew up on. So like Puddle of Mud, Stained, all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of stuff I would like to have on here. Just like playing, although I don't know if that would really fit the aesthetic, to be honest, but it would be cool. It'd be really cool. Just play some music and chill out, make some video games. But I can't do that, unfortunately. So you guys get the lo-fi treatment. And I like lo-fi too. Lo-fi is perfectly fine. Like I can sit there and chill out and listen to lo-fi. So I picked something that's kind of calmer and mellow, you know, something that just kind of makes it nice. A little bit of nice background music. Don't want to go for too much of that like elevator music stuff, make you fall asleep. But yeah, I'd be curious too if anybody in the chat or anybody who has who's watching live, if you've ever had that issue where you're feeling like you got that fig tree dilemma where you feel like you have all these things to do or all these different paths in front of you and you're really not sure which one to take. It's funny though, because God kind of answers my prayers on things, and he shows me things, he shows me paths that I don't expect. It's funny the way God works. Like I was sitting in mass with my family this past weekend, and we had a priest that came in from India. He was talking about how in his area in India that he's from, how the people there, they don't really have like choices that they have to make, right? So when they came to America for the first time and they asked him like, what do you want for breakfast? And like, I guess, well, no, let me back up. He said that his other friend who's a priest, like, he's like, hey, this is cereal, this is what we eat in America, like this is what Americans eat, right, for breakfast. And then he's like, okay, well, I'll have the cereal. And then they were like, what kind of cereal, right? So it's like, and where he's from, you don't have to deal with that. It's just like, hey, I want cereal. They're just like, okay, here's Cheerios. You're getting Cheerios. That's all the cereal. That is cereal. That is the only cereal. It's just Cheerios, right? And so like, I guess it's kind of lucky in a way to have such a thing like that, because you know, if you don't have all these choices in front of you and you're just like, all right, I'll just take the cereal, you're good. But at the same time, you know, it is nice having choices. It's kind of a privileged thing to be able to like say like, you know, I have all these choices in front of me. I can choose any of these things. I'm really grateful to the Lord for that. Jesus takes pretty good care of me on that. And I'm pretty happy that I actually get to do, have the life I have and do the things that I get to do. Like, I'm here in my 30s, and I already made like a decision a long time ago in my life, what I'm doing, what I was going to do for my career. And then I decided I didn't want to do that for my career anymore. And then here I am, like, I actually get to do this now, and I'm just flabbergasted with the fact that I actually get to do this. So pretty cool. That priest, by the way, he also mentioned about how he was like, I guess the one person asked him for breakfast one time, and she's like, "Do you want eggs?" And he's like, "Yes, I'll take eggs." And then she's like, "How would you like your eggs?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Well, how would you like your eggs?" And then she's like, "Yeah, you can have it this way or that way. You can have them over easy. You can have them scrambled." I mean, I'm paraphrasing here, but, and then he's like, "Oh, just forget about the eggs." Like, that to me is pretty funny. Like, this is too many choices for me to make. Like, I don't want the eggs. I don't want them. So. Every once in a while, I'm just looking over here and seeing what it's actually working on, looking at the code, trying to understand it as it's coming through, and seeing how everything's being built out. It is absolutely mind-blowing to me that it can do all this. We live in some crazy times. The fact that, like, you can literally just tell a computer, "Hey, make this thing," and it just does it. Like, it reminds me of the Jetsons. I was telling my son this earlier. Like, I said, by the time you're my age, man, like, you are gonna be able to be like, it's gonna be. I showed him an episode of the Jetsons, and I was like, this is what you're gonna be able to do. You're gonna literally be able to go to the store, and you're gonna be able to buy a robot, and you're gonna say, "All right, I just want you to take care of my dishes for me," and it'll do that. I mean, we're literally right there right now. Like, you can almost go out and buy a humanoid robot, and it will do some of those things for you. It's right around the corner. And people are pretty afraid, Like, I've seen it personally hit my own career field, where outside of this, people get laid off all the time. It just displaces everybody. And it's sad. Like, I was personally laid off as a result of it. I got laid off last year as a result of it, and that's kind of what thrust me into doing what I'm doing. I just kind of had a come to Jesus moment, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life right now, Lord. Like, I want to figure out what do you want from me? Like, what am I supposed to do? And like, I've always loved video games, and I've tried to do this in the past, but it's just never quite worked out. But this time it's actually feeling like it's actually working out. And I definitely think that people have every right to be afraid of what AI has coming down the pike, just because it's a game changer for the economy. Like, people who, it's like if you have, when diesel engines took over steam engines, right? Like, it's just a massive difference in the performance for like the way a train works, right? You have a train, you have steam engines work fine. They carry freight, they carry cargo from point A to point B. They do it in a couple days. The stuff gets there. Then diesel comes along, and diesel literally takes over, and it just does it in a fraction of the time. And so now all these old steam engine engineers who used to work on all the steam engines, they have to move on. They have to learn how to work on diesels, or else, like, you know, things are going to pass them by. And the same thing's kind of happening right now in the economy, like, and people are, it's just happening on a much larger scale, like a much larger scale than we've ever seen before. Like, every single industry is being affected by it, and so everybody's freaking out because they're like, well, what if I lose my job? The only catch is this: like, I do think that a lot of people are right whenever they say AI is getting quite expensive and companies can't really afford to keep up with the price of it. It's like when everybody jumped to the cloud in the 2010s and they were starting to go and get all these cloud assets like AWS and Azure, and they would buy all these things, and then they would just get a huge bill, and they would be like, whoa, where did all this come from, right? And it's like the trade-offs that you get between like hiring a developer and hiring a like getting AI to do it all for you. It's interesting. I think that, you know, we'll see if companies start to go back to hiring more developers again and hiring more professional like tech workers, instead of saying, okay, we'll have a small team, and hey, you small team of like 4 or 5 engineers and architects and everything, like, you guys go ahead and make that the same things happen that we had a team of 20 people doing before, right? Because now that AI is getting to the point where it's going to become more and more expensive. Like, I think Claude is in the red so much. I think Anthropic, right, the people who make Claude, and OpenAI, I think they're in the red so much, and they don't have they're not even close to being in the green right now. And so I'll be curious to see how that goes as the time moves on here. Okay, so it looks like it got it working here. Let's take a look. Only one way to find out. Play test it and see. Got respawn. Well, it kind of works. I mean, wow. We got some energy. We've got hearts. All right, so we have our first big issue, and that's that the sword doesn't really look right. But I mean, that's pretty cool, though. I mean, the fact that it's like I can actually use it and actually. Okay. Let's try that one more time. I want to see what happens if the player tries to beat me. I was explaining to my wife earlier this whole thing of the door problem when it comes to making video games, and that is that if you have a door and you have to think about wow, that's pretty cool. If you have a door and you say, all right, I don't need the player to go through the door, then you just need it to be, you know, aesthetic, right? Or if you have a door and you need a certain key to open the door, or you need a certain color, or should the door swing inward or outward? And what size should the door be? Should it be small? Should it have windows, or should it not have windows? Should the windows be opaque, or should they be completely transparent? And so it's like this whole thing of the door problem is like just a small thing in a video game, like actually making a door requires so much thought in order to get what you want. And that's why making video games is the hardest, I think, profession there is, as far as like intellectual professions go, as far as, you know, heavy thought because of how much involvement. Now, granted, I mean, there's a lot of other things too. Like, I don't think I could be a neurologist or a neurosurgeon or like a heart surgeon or a lawyer. I mean, those things require a lot of brain power too. But like, I mean, AI's really taken away a lot of the whole need for like the brain power side of this stuff. But if you're doing it from scratch, then yeah, I mean, that's Let's try this Unity Ultra. Let's try, I'm gonna try to make it, give it a hard one. Let's say, okay, so we got the player, we got the enemy, we got the enemy logic. Let's say go find some better assets and make the game look nicer. Can you do that? I want to see if it can do it. Make it actually look like an RPG with an animated rigged character and some grass, trees, rocks, typical terrain. I don't know what else. A skybox. Enemies that actually look like enemies. Can you do all that? Yeah, I'd be curious. Let's see. Only one way to find out. Let's put it to the test. All right, so this is pretty complex, I think, because asking it to actually go and make it go from a prototype, like really small prototype, go find some better assets. So it has to go out and actually find the assets, make the game look nicer, make it actually look like an RPG with animated and rigged character, and some grass, trees, rocks, typical terrain, a skybox. Skybox is just like, this is the skybox where my mouse is at right now. It's literally the sky, right? So make the skybox look nicer. I can absolutely make this look dramatically better, but animated rig character and real assets have a few very different sourcing strategies with big trade-offs. So let me first check what's available in your project, then I'll confirm the approach with you before writing the plan. Let me investigate what tools and packages we have to work with. Wow. Well, I like that already. I can absolutely make this look dramatically better. Well, let's see you put your money where your mouth is there, Unity AI. Let's see if you can really make it actually look better. I will be curious. And I like that it catches it. It says, you know, but animated rigged character and real assets have a few very different sourcing strategies with big trade-offs. What asset sourcing strategy do you want for the visual overhaul? Hybrid recommended. Unity terrain for the landscape, plus AI generated meshes, textures for trees, rocks, and enemies. The rigged AI animate humanoid for the player, fully in editor, no external downloads. All AI generated. Generate every asset, character, enemies, props, textures, skybox via Unity AI tools. Most bespoke, but slower and more iteration needed. Character rigging is the riskiest part. I'll import packs manually. You download free asset store, mix some packs yourself. I wire them into the controller's terrain and scene. Best art quality, but needs manual steps from you. Let's try the hybrid. Let's just see where we go. What art direction should I aim for? Stylized, low poly, Breath of the Wild, like bright, painterly, cel-shaded feel. Best match for Breath of the Wild and most forgiving for generated assets. Semi-realistic. Grounded PBR materials, realistic terrain textures, atmospheric lighting, heavier and less forgiving of generation artifacts. Stylized fantasy. Vibrant, saturated fantasy look with strong post-processing. Bloom. Vignette. Color grading. Let's do the stylized low poly. How ambitious should the world scale and polish be for this pass? Focused vertical slice, one nicely dressed playable area, with hills, a few trees, rocks, grass, skybox, one good enemy, fast, high quality per object. Bigger terrain with multiple biomes, landmarks, more vegetation, more impressive, but much longer. Let's see. Let's just do the focused vertical slice for now. Let's see if you can do it. Now, I have a feeling that this is going to take a lot of time because it's got a lot of steps to do here. So what I'm going to do is, it is getting late where I live, and I have to get up for work in the morning for my day job. And I'm always on time for my job, and I don't want to be sleeping in. I don't want that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop this stream for now. And tomorrow, when I come back on the stream, I'm going to show what ended up happening, and I'll start from there. So if you're watching live, tune back in tomorrow at 9 o'clock, and I will show you all what happened here, what changes it made, and this will be your cliffhanger for the night. So thank you very much for joining the live stream if you did. And if you're watching this later, thank you for watching this. I really appreciate it. I know that my streams are long, and it means a lot to me that you watched it and that you listened to me ramble on for a while. And just want to say, Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior, and he loves you very much. And if you don't know that, well, come talk to me, because I'd love to share the good news with you. And I'm grateful to the fact that he gives me this life, and he can give you an amazing life too, if you didn't know that. So hope you all have a great night. I'll talk to you all tomorrow.